Yeah,
Here we
this
go.
word I liked. So let's get back to the PowerPoint and to start the second panel where we want to widen the perspective. And we have our first speaker already there, it's Daniel Santos from the INBAS project MoAB, who does counseling with a transnational perspective for foreigners who wish to work in Germany or in the German system. And I'm happy to have him here, and I give you the microphone. You may start and tell me when
Hello.
to click.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, let's start then. So MoAB, as already previously said, stands for Mobile Recognition Counseling and has been a project of INBAS for the past 7 years. We are a specialized counseling service for the recognition of foreign qualifications, and mobile means that we actually travel to different cities in the state of Hesse to offer counseling on site, which is obviously easier and low threshold for those seeking advice. Yes, of course, because of the pandemic, we have stopped doing that, but we are looking forward to do that. And we're going to discuss how we coped with that during the pandemic later. So who comes to us for counseling? The target group is composed of people with qualifications from abroad, mostly apprenticeships and college degrees. And I'll also go into more detail about this concerning the question, are there global success factors for successful guidance? We're going to be seeing in this. So during our counseling, we normally discuss the goal of the person, goal setting, and seeking advice, and then to help determine the kind of recognition applicable, if any. For example, whether they want to pursue their profession, study, start an apprenticeship. But career guidance is also a recurring topic in our counseling, especially in cases where, the person's degree does not really apply in Germany. And then we have, for example, to give initial information, we provide orientation and then refer further. To be concrete about this, about our everyday practice, we discuss possibility or necessity of the recognition. We compare the German or try to find a German reference occupation. We provide information about the procedure, costs, documents, duration, the next steps, clarify the recognition decision. We also see the next steps if full recognition is not possible, which is mostly the case. We refer to adjustment measures, further support in the integration to the German market, and so on and so forth. The recognition counseling is funded by state institutions throughout Germany, and in Hesse, there is even an entitlement to it. This shows that counseling has a high value for politics and society. And it's also worth mentioning, of course, our counseling is voluntary, free of charge, and confidential. Please next then. Next slide. Thank you. So in order to contribute to today's question, what makes career guidance and counseling a success? I would now like to take a closer look at our target groups and in order to present the success factors we have identified for our service. So the target group is, as a rule, people already living in Germany. Since 2019, the most frequent origin countries are Syria, Turkey, Iran, Russian Federation, and Romania. And the most common occupations coming to us are economists, teachers, engineers, healthcare workers and nurses, and linguists. The majority concerning age, the majority of people seeking advice is between the ages of 30 to 39, followed by those aged 40 to 49. So our age group is a lot or not a lot, it's older, usually older than the ones previously discussed. For example, they usually already have professional experience. They have, for example, a full established professional qualification. And at the time of the counseling, most of them are unemployed, which shows a certain degree of psychological strain on them, which also has to be considered during the counseling. Our counseling is not bound to nationalities. On the contrary, we deal with very heterogeneous target group, and our MoAB team itself is very heterogeneous in terms of age, origin, mother tongue, and general background. We have more than 15 languages in the team. So with this background, I would like to ask you to move on with the slide to the next one. Thank you. So at MoAB, we think that for our counseling to work well, the following factors are very important. So setting a goal, as I've explained before, in counseling, it's very important to find out about what the person wants to do in Germany, because all of the next steps are going to be dependent on that. So after grasping this main objective, we discuss the various possibilities for recognition, as well as the limitations of our expertise to continue. Factors for success. So after this goal setting, we have to obviously deal with the expectation of that person. So expectation management is a key word here. Besides good listening skills, it is our job to help assess whether their goals are realistic. If someone comes to us with expectation that we will help them work, for example, as an engineer in Germany with a 2-year degree, that's not legally possible. So you have to manage that. And or a doctor that comes to Germany with basic German and wants to work as a doctor right away, or wants a really quick recognition procedure. We have to deal with that, and to deal with their expectations, helping them manage that. Even if sometimes expectations or goals in Germany cannot be fulfilled so quickly, in our view, the counseling is successful if this advice seeker leaves the counseling with the knowledge that he or she needs what they need to do, and with all the information necessary for them to make an informed decision on how to proceed. And therefore is this conveying of general knowledge about recognition so important for us as well. General knowledge is, in this case, for example, the German school and apprenticeship and vocational system has to be explained. And for that, we use plain language, visualizations, and help them compare that to their educational system. And in some cases, obviously, we have to research a little about their educational systems to make it easier for them to understand what they need to do here. And during the pandemic, we had to amplify our dealing with digital counseling, expand our techniques and devices, and to make that possible, to keep working and providing them with recognition counseling. So it's very important. It's been very important to use visualizations, to use simple language, to send all important information again in writing afterwards, because it's sometimes a lot of information to take in, especially if you're not. Some of them don't speak English well, and speak German at a level that requires special care in this sense. So the individual next steps, the individual situation is also very important, as I referred to. So we ask for concrete questions about, for example, whether they have all the documents, how they might obtain further documents, who they need to contact, what about German courses, and can the person finance them? What are the solutions? Are there still qualifications? Qualifications, and can they combine that with bringing up children or gainful employment? These are the kind of questions that are really important to be asked and dealt with. Soft skills and counseling skills are another very important factor for us. Building trust, reading people, having a feeling for misunderstandings that might be taking place in the background. sometimes taking people by the hand, and of course patience, and empathy, friendliness. It's all very important. Next one, please. Thank you. So this is the last one. One aspect that's also very important, and it's been said here, is to meet the person seeking advice at their eye level. We as counselors do not and should not want to convince. We want to allow for a diversity of perspectives. It is also very important for us to find common grounds for communication. Not only about language, but also about nonverbal communication, gestures, facial expressions, and to try to understand them in this sense. We have, as a specialized consular service, we have a very wide network to help them further. Sometimes they will spend even more time with others than with us. We are like this first step, and then we refer them. So networking is also very, very crucial. And last but not least, the transnational perspective, as already mentioned, is also key. And a key feature of our, like an intrinsic element of our counseling, because we are a diverse and social diverse group of counselors, and our advice seekers come from all over the world, all over, all cultures. And then that's very important for us to, make them, to make this very individual experience. It is always an individual experience, but we have this eye for their individuality. And finally, this transnational is also important, and we talk about that because we take into account the different realities of life, right? Because culture and language and country is one thing, but they come from different realities where things are so different from Germany that we have to meet them there and sometimes take them by the hand and help them with the little details. For example, they also have to act transnationally, because they have to sometimes contact their country again, and or the country where they studied, to get the full recognition here. So they've developed transnational biographies that are very valuable for the German market, a great contribution, and also for their individual situation and for their career planning. That would be all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and here's your applause.
I
hope so.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah, really, really nice. I liked a lot eye-level communication, and Idruna just talked about communication skills, so you also referred to it and the networking, but also what you told last, you are kind of translator from foreign systems to the German working system, and you are it yourself. So you didn't open up the secret, but you told us that many people in the MoAB team are like this also. This is nice. See you next in the discussion, and thank you again. We saw a little applause, and we will switch to the next input. Before, I would like to share with you